that we have. Okay, got it. So we all know that you've already spent 80% of your time talking to your student about the courses, and their brain is full of information. And now you have 20% of their capacity and tell them, okay, this is what you need for you to be able to access to the quality medical treatment in Australia. So there's just pick a few things that really matter for them. So what is OSHC? As I mentioned earlier, they need OSHC so then they can fall sick and they can go into your life, and if they have accident happen, we'll cover them. And another thing that I would like you to really read through here is who is eligible for OSHC. So this is the definition that's from the deed. So the deed is actually the documents that all providers that we need to follow. It's kind of a Bible between the Department of Health and all the providers. So what the deed said is the overseas students are eligible for OSHC. And then there's a definition for overseas students. So who is overseas students? The overseas student has to to have a student visa. B, this person needs to be an applicant of a student visa and is a holder of a bridging visa, and was immediately before being granted the bridging visa the holder of student visa. It's very mouthful. What that means is if the student is coming from a student visa, then while this student is on the bridging visa, it will still be seen as a student. So the second OSHC will be able to cover this student while they're waiting on the BVA. Now, I know at the moment the waiting time is quite long, especially if you have an unsure student, is quite long. So you just need to be mindful. Well, I guess from the 1st of July onwards, there won't be any more problem because nobody can change from other visa to student visa. But at the moment, there are a lot of influx from student coming from different visa to student visa. And these students, they will probably be waiting for a while. They probably will need to go to AAT. But those ones, you need to at least be aware that while they're waiting, although they can study, they're actually not covered by the OSHC. And if they want to be covered, they need to go purchase OVHC for them to be covered on the BVA. Okay, so that's one thing I want to clear out. And then obviously the couple thing has come up many times. Every time we have training, I'll have people ask me, why is it so expensive? Well, so I actually interesting had a meeting with Johnny this morning, and we were just discussing how expensive it is to have a baby in Australia. So a normal delivery for a baby is about 20K in the hospital. So this is a normal delivery without complication. Now, if you have a delivery with complication, having a C-section, for example, you'll need additional anesthetist, additional pediatrician, additional surgeon there, then the cost will blow up. That is why a couple policy is a lot more, because it's taking consideration the pregnancy claim history. Now, I do know, we're now living in the 21st century. They're a same-sex couple. They're probably not going to fall pregnant. Or there's a couple that's a lot more older. They're probably not going to fall pregnant. For now, they do still need to be on the couple policy. So as long as they don't have they're not a primary visa holder, they have to go on to a couple policy. So this is a point here. Who can have a single policy? The single policy only covers the overseas student who's a primary visa holder. So when you have a dependent, you have to go on to a couple policy. Now, if you have a married couple, but they both have their own visa, then by all means, you can purchase two single policy for them. Okay. So it's really just depending on their visa type, not their marital status, really. So that's that. And obviously we then go on to tell you what are the benefits of OSHC. So with OSHC, I'm sure you will all know that we cover out of hospital and in hospital. So anything that happened after they get admitted in the hospital, it's 100% of MBS rate. Now, I ask this question every time. Can you give me a 1 if you know what MBS is? Give me a 2 if you don't know what MBS is. Good. All right. Got a few 2s. That's good. That means I'm providing value for you guys. Wonderful. All right. So what MBS, so as I mentioned, right, the benefit we cover according to MBS. You can see on the screen for out of hospital, it's GP is 100% MBS. Pathology and radiology is 85% of MBS. And if you look at the in hospital, everything that's submitted is 100% MBS. So this is what we mean by cover. We cover according to MBS. And MBS is like acronym for Medicare Benefit Schedule. What it is the government has looked at most of the medical treatment in Australia, and they have decided how much they can subsidize for each treatment. Okay, for example, going to GP now for a 20 minutes consultation, according to the MBS, 100% of MBS is $35 Australian dollars. Okay, so your student having OSHC, they go to this GP. If this GP charge according to MBS and we cover according to MBS, that means this student doesn't need to pay anything because we cover according to 100% of MBS rate and the clinic charge 100% of MBS rate. So there's no gap fee. And this, we call it bulk bill. So the GP is bulk billing. Now, this MBS list hasn't been updated for years. It's a little bit outdated. I said it every time in training. I don't know if you're going to get me into trouble, but anyway, I'm going to say it. It hasn't been updated. And Australia has gone through inflation. So the cost of living has gone a lot. Like, 2-3 years ago, you buying a grocery is probably $60 a week. Now you're looking about 100, 120. So inflation has gone up. The cost of living has gone up. The cost of labor has gone up. So what happened is a lot of clinics, they can't just charge according to the MBS rate anymore. They have to charge whatever they can charge to keep them afloat. So nowadays, your student having an OSHC, going to a GP clinic, the clinic might charge them $60. Okay. So we as insurers, we still cover according to the MBS rate. So we cover $35. What that means is if your student going to the doctor that we work with, they direct bill. They don't bulk bill, but they direct bill. Then the student will still need to pay about $25 as a gap fee. Okay, so that is very important that you need to explain to your student what it does it mean when we say cover. Sometimes it does mean there's no charge, okay? But most of the time, especially right now in this climate, most of the time it means there is a gap fee. It might be a very small gap fee. And I will show you how do they avoid this gap fee later on. So are we clear on that? Does that make sense? Yeah, just give me an indication. Perfect. Is it okay to purchase single OSHC for the subsequent visa if the subsequent partner already has OSHC cover? Hey, hang on. Is it okay to purchase single OSHC for the subsequent visa? Well, the first part of that question, the answer is no. If it's no. So as a subsequent visa holder, the OSHC wouldn't be valid. Although this person might have an OSHC, but it's not going to do anything. Like if the OSHC is with us, at least Allianz, we do check their visa status. And if you realize that it's on the subsequent visa, then the policy is not valid. So the answer is no. Cool. No problem. All right. So that is the benefit, and that is what we cover. So with OSHC, we cover MBS rate for out of hospital, in hospital, and we cover 100% of the cost of ambulance. So just give you an idea, if you live in New South Wales, I think a few years ago, ambulance charged $600, and now it's about 800 to if they send to you. But with OSHC, is cover the cost, the all cost. Okay, cool. Another thing I would like to get your attention onto is waiting period. Okay. So waiting period at the moment for your OSHC, there are two situations will have waiting period. One is pregnancy. Second one is pre-existing condition. So I don't know if I can. Oh, hello. I wasn't sure if you can see me, but now you can. Okay, so pregnancy is very self-explanatory. If you have a student who just got onshore, and they can't fall pregnant because the waiting period is 12 months. So if they felt pregnant straight away, the whole duration of the pregnancy plus delivery, it won't be covered. So the student won't be able to claim that unless they're elephant. But obviously we're not, we're human. But if this student felt pregnant toward the later year of their first year, so let's say you come here for a 2 years visa, and toward the 10th month of this student arrival, she felt pregnant, then for the first 2 months, anything pregnancy related, it won't be covered. Like the scan and all that stuff won't be covered. But toward the end, the delivery, it will be covered. Okay, so pregnancy is very self-explanatory, but it's super easy. Now, pre-existing condition. Can you tell me, when you see pre-existing condition, what comes in your head? Just give me some example. Put in the chat. Give me some example that you can think of. What is pre-existing condition? Yeah, spot on. Anything else? Yes. Anything else? Yeah. Who's another Angel Patel? Oh, that's probably my colleague. Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Okay. So those ones are all correct. So you will know, like, if they are either born with it, so they already know when they were very very young, or they've been suffer from it for a very long time. So those ones are the very obvious pre-existing condition, like heart condition, like diabetes when somebody said it, kidney stone, hypertension, and HIV. That's one very popular one for some reason. And we also have asthma. That's very very common as well as pre-existing condition. Those pre-existing condition, they all need medication. So you'll know, like, they will need to wait at least 1 year for them to be able to claim. Okay, so that is the very obvious pre-existing condition. Now, I've got a case here for you. So let's say if you have a student, because some of you are offshore, some of you are onshore. So let's say if you have a student who's offshore, Now we apply for a student visa, got the student visa. 2 months before this student arrived in Australia, this student broke a leg. Okay, but it's been fixed and everything, pulled back and heals and stuff. Now, 1 month after this student arrived in Australia, for some reason they need to go check out that leg that was broken. There's some issue there. The doctor has then established that it's related to that incident, the accident that happened 3 months ago. Now, would you say this is a pre-existing condition or not? So give me a Y if you think this is a pre-existing condition. Give me an N if you don't think so.
Among people, let's see. Give your honest answer.
Safe
Let's see what you
space.
think. This will help you remember.
Yes.
Thank you, Deki.
Thank you. All right. So this, in that case, the situation will actually be seen as pre-existing condition. Okay, because the doctor has established the illness is actually related to that incident 3 months ago. I would like to invite you to have a read through on the definition here. So a person has a pre-existing condition. That means it has an alignment, illness, or condition. And in the opinion of a medical practitioner appointed by us, the sign or symptoms of that alignment, illness, or condition existed at any time in the period of 6 months ending on the day on which the person become insured under the policy. Okay, so 6 months. That's basically the duration. 6 months before, during the 6 months before they start getting insured. So now that you have a question, when do they get insured? Like, when does the policy commence? Okay, so for those that's looking after offshore students, your students, although they have to purchase a policy on the time at the time that they are applying for the visa, most likely offshore, but their policy actually won't valid until they are landed onshore. Okay, so even if they get the visa, until that second they step out of the airport, their policy is not valid. So that's when their policy starts. Okay, and for those that look after onshore, same thing. Remember, the first thing we look at, who's international student. They need to either have a student visa, or before they apply for student visa, they were on the student visa. So without these two conditions, they are not student, meaning they won't be covered by this OSHC. So if you have a student currently, they might be on the 408, they might be 600, and they transfer to a student visa. While they're waiting for the BVA, their OSHC is not valid. So as I mentioned earlier, they have to, at a minimum, if they want to get covered, they need to purchase OVHC for them to be covered. Does that make sense? Does that land with anyone? Anyone have questions? I think offshore is quite easy to understand, but a lot of time the problem starts from onshore. Any question on that? Silent is gold.
When it gets detailed, I find sometimes there's some quiet, but there will be. But when after people reflect and think more, the questions can come.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. Okay. So that is really about the policy that I want you to kind of understand. Because the most important thing is I want you to know what you're selling. Like I know you're all actively selling the policy, but I guess the more knowledge you have about the policy, the less problem you will arrive later on with your students, because we want to make sure they fully understand what they get themselves into. All right. The other thing I would like to show you. Okay, got some questions here. What if once the student has commenced the course and not landing? No. So for the OSHC to commence, it has to have two factors. They have to be either onshore and they have to have the valid visa. So let's say if they're offshore, and no, offshore won't have problem. So it's mainly the onshore will have problem, because onshore students, they can study under different visa, right? So they can study for on the visitor visa for I think 12 weeks right now, and working holiday they can study for 17 weeks. So those students, they'll feel like, oh, I'm studying, I'm student, but in the visa term, they're not really student because they don't have the student visa. They're just studying. So the OSHC won't cover even though they're studying. Is that the one need to have voice as well? Waiting for yeah. So if you have student coming from other visa, for example, like I get a lot of, I don't know if you guys are having that now for those that's onshore. So a lot of my clients, they are super busy because a lot of them wanted to get in before the 1st of July. So a lot of them, they would probably be on 408, 600, 45 maybe. They want to go to student visa. Then obviously the bridging visa time is really, really long. So they have to purchase the OSHC while they're applying for the student visa. But because their student visa is not granted yet, while they're waiting for BVA, they will need to purchase OVHC, the Overseas Visitor Health Cover, if they want to be covered, or at the minimum, they need to understand they are not covered by the OSHC, although they have purchased it. Does that answer your question, Deki? Perfect. All right. So that is pretty much what I want to take you through for the OS. Another thing I want to take you through is how do you purchase the policy? Okay, can you all see my screen? Can you all see the portal?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So for those that's with Yes Education, this is what you'll see, right? This is your group. And when you click on view group detail, that's the portal that you're going to see. Now, for those that their partner, I'm pretty sure this is the link that you'll be given. So this is the page that you normally purchase your OSHC. Am I right? Just want to double check on that.
Yeah. So some people,
yeah,
would not be aware of how to do this. We want to encourage them that this is the way to do it. Or if they're already not using Allianz, then this is the way to do it.
yeah. So okay, so are they given the link, or like is when they choose Allianz?
Yes, we will give them once the student does choose Allianz, and then the agent wishes to apply to us, and then we will give them the link.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so this will be the page that you'll be landing on. Just to make sure that there is a group ID here, very clearly here. This is just so that we can manage your policy a lot better and try not to jump out. It does have a cookie which followed, so I've been told. But you know, I don't know. I don't really trust technology these days. So let's just be like extra cautious and not jumping out of the page and still keeping in the page. So if you do get this link, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's really easy to purchase a policy. Let's say we want to start a policy from today. You can either choose the full month or you can choose the end date. All right, let's say we're going for a master, they'll go 2 years. Okay, and for one adult. Now, for those who's dealing with school students, which I don't think there are many, but if they're dealing with school student who's underage, just be mindful, even though they're underage, they're still counted as one adult. Okay. Sometimes this get a bit confusing, but mostly if they are over 18, then obviously you click one adult and you get a quote, and then this will give you a quote. This is 2 years policy. Okay. And you can keep going. So if you decided you're going to purchase the policy, because why not? The price is so good and we cover everything. So you're going to go for that. Now, you will then just put in the first name and the date of birth. So let's go for, that's way too low. And 2024, May. All right. A female, passport number, country of issue. Who do we have? Thailand. All right. And if you're coming from offshore, so the student won't be living here. But now if you're onshore, you click yes. Now you will see there's a click, there's a kind of a pop-out box for you, want you to see. So it is telling you that please be aware that if you were previously on the visitor visa and now on the bridging visa, you will not be covered until your student visa is granted. Okay, so it does want you to know this. And if you select no, then you'll go to the study location. Now, just be mindful that we don't have all institution here on this list. So if you can't find the name that you're looking for, just simply type in others and then you select the state. Okay, and then you go continue. It will then go on to the next page when you decide to do that. Why is this also? Of course it's slow. All right, so then this is the payment page, and it will be asked you some question, say, hey, you confirm you've already read the policy wording, and for this student, do they want to receive any marketing related material? So I don't know why our portal is so slow, because normally by this time they should have a payment like box come out, so then you can do that. But anyway, now if you are working with the student and you know this is what happened, you want to send this quote to your student, this is where you do it. So you click on email and then you can email this quote to whoever need to receive this. Okay, so that's how you purchase the OSHC on the portal. All right, does that make sense? Any questions?
Does this look very easy to everyone?
Yeah.
It looks simple enough, right? Crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
Perfect. That's what we want.
Very good. Look how this is good. This is so easy. I think I don't want agents to stress that, I have to get insurance. This is too tough. What am I going to do? Just let the university do it. Like, no, like this is very, very, very easy. And they're getting the better coverage, really getting clearer coverage here, and full coverage here with us.
Yeah.
So, and this is something the student can fill out very easily as well. They will be paying, or if the agent is, it's very easy to do. Visa, MasterCard, look, you can see straight away how easy it is. Just that it's important to put all the information there: first name, last name, date of birth, email address, passport number, country of issue. Very easy. And these are the basic information.
So you'll probably wonder what happened then, right? So once you purchase, there'll be a welcome pack emailed to a student's email address. And then the certificate will be saved into the portal, which I'm pretty sure you guys will get it like straight away. So that's what happened. And regarding to payment, the system allows students to make the payment by themselves. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to email this quote, so you click on email and you put in the email address, you can put in student's email address, then the student will be able to make the payment, putting their credit card details through that quote link, and they can make the payment themselves. I don't think we're working with Flywires yet. So at the moment, we can only do credit card payment. So I understand. I understand from some country, Nepal, for example, it's a bit tricky. What we can do for Nepal is they can take the quote, take it to the bank, because the bank, they will have digital credit card, so they can pay from the bank. And then that way is quicker. You can also get a certificate straight away instead of doing TT, telegraph. What's TT again? Telegraph transfer. Anyway, you get it, just like the bank transfer, international bank transfer, which take forever. Yes, that's the one. Thank you. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. TT is a bit slow. We can provide you bank detail for you to transfer to us. The thing is, it does take a few days to clear. But a lot of time, as we know, the student probably need insurance like yesterday. So we do encourage you to use credit card instead of bank transfer. But if you have to do it, you have to do it. Just let us know, and then we can provide a bank detail for you. All right, so that is OS. Pretty clear, I guess. Now we're going to go back to your portal. So this is really exciting. It's brand new, not brand new, but it come back. This function come back. It's your OVHC referral link. And now it's here. Dun, dun, dun. It's on the portal. So I'm pretty sure you as a partner, you will also receive this. This is for OVHC. Okay, so what kind of visa that you need to purchase OVHC? You can come to drop down. 600. If you have a visitors coming for 3 months, you can get a visitor OVHC for them. For A2, that I think at the moment will probably be favoring Hong Kong student, maybe Indian student. Not sure other nationality if they will get this, but for A5, yeah. So for A5, for those that been studying here for the last 2 years, now they're probably looking at 4A5. That's where they can get or working holiday visa. So I think Southeast Asian, Thailand, they can still do working holiday, right? They have a few.
Yes, there are some
Yeah,
doing working holiday. Yeah.
yeah. And Vietnamese, not so much.
Vietnamese, really.
Yeah, I think mainly Thailand, Malaysian, maybe.
Taiwan,
Taiwan, yes. Taiwanese love working
lot,
holiday.
a lot.
Yes.
Japan,
So
but we're not really doing that market.
yeah. Yeah, so those market working holiday visa, and obviously there are all other work visa that we cover. So if you have, I think for you guys will probably the 485, 600, and 590. So that will be the non-working, but it's the student guardians. Like when you have a younger student, school age student, they will go under the student guardian OVHC. So if you already know this, take 485, for example. All right. Same thing. It's very easy. Now you have one adult starting day. You will see there's no end date. Reason being is 485, it can last for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, who knows how long. So there is no end date. But if you select a 600, you can see there's an end date because, you know, technically they should have a return flight ticket and you should know how long they're here for. Just be mindful though, as you can see, now I'm going for 600. The policy start date is 4th of July. Okay, that's the first day you can purchase. You can't purchase from the 3rd of July. You can't purchase from today. The earliest date that you can purchase this policy is from the 4th of July. Why? Because our non-working OVHC have a 14 days waiting period. What that means is when you purchase it, you can own the earliest date is 14 days after today. Okay, so if you already know they're gonna arrive on 8th of July, for example, you can now go in and select 8th of July, and that's totally fine. But I do understand sometimes parents they will say, hey, I want to arrive tomorrow, but unfortunately we won't be able to change that. They will either need to find some other providers, or they will probably need to breach the visa condition, or they just need to arrive a lot later. So that is one thing I wanted to point out. Now with the 485, no end day, start date we can do today, no problem. Again, you click on get a quote and then we'll give you all the policy that's available for you. Now, working OVHC, we have 4 different levels. One is the budget, and then standard, mid, and top. So for mid and top, it's based on different level of extras. So that's the physio, dental, optical, and all that stuff. That's not included in the basic cover. For the budget doesn't cover out of hospital. So only cover inpatient. So it's really for those people. I think it's best product for the 485 and 482 because those people, they're generally young. And you will mostly have those people come to you saying, hey, but I've never claimed anything. I've never gone to a GP. Then you'll know they're the best candidate for this budget product. And you can see there's hospital access. So if you choose 500 access, the monthly premium will reduce to $77.25. If you don't want a hospital access, then you'll go up to $85.80. Now, I just want to show you something as well. So let's say we're going to start this policy from 2nd of July. Let's get a quote. Ta-da! So our budget working cover from the 1st of July will be the cheapest in the market. Okay, so it will only be $66.40 for a budget working policy. And for the standard, it's only $113 policy. So if you have those students coming from working holiday, if they said to you, hey, I don't really want to cover, I want to cover from my home country, I have a travel insurance, maybe it's time to compare how much they're paying for their travel insurance, because our working OVHC is actually quite cheap. And for the budget is like super cheap, and they just cover for the accident, that if they have to go to the hospital. So that's OV, and then you can see what's ticked, what's not been ticked. That means it's cover, it's not cover. And if you scroll down a little bit, I think if you click on select plan, then it'll take you to fill out more information. So again, this is very self-explanatory. You just need to put in a name and then continue and then pay for the first payment. So for OV, just need to be mindful that OV, to get a certificate, the first payment needs to be made by credit card. So then you can get a certificate straight away. But you can set up a direct debit. So the payment will go monthly, every 6 months or every year. It's up to you. or up to the client. Does that make sense for OVHC? Any question on that?
Normally, what if there's any mistake or any problems, how easy can it be corrected, and how should they go about it?
Yeah. So for OS, it's a lot easier because you got a portal. So your partner can pretty much come to you and then you can change on the portal. So name, date of birth, any personal detail, you can actually change that on the portal. But for OV, unfortunately, it has to go to our OV support inbox, which is ovhc@allianzcare.com.au. So yeah, so if for OV, if you need to change anything, you do need to go into this inbox or call 1300. Yeah, or call this number. So then they can help you and update it. But for OS,
how about on the app? They couldn't change it on the app.
So for OV, my understanding is they can change the contact detail on the app, but not personal detail.
Sure. Yeah.
And this, since you mentioned app, so this is how they can get to the app.
I think it's good. A lot of agents ask me about the app as well.
Yeah. I'm also
It's quite good, the My Health app.
Yeah. So this is where you can direct your student going to their app. So for your students, they have My Health app. This is for over 16 years old. If they're under 16, they don't have access to the app. They will need to do everything via email or contact us. So with the app, it's pretty cool. They can do a lot of things with app. They can submit their claim. They can have access to the emergency numbers. We do have 24/7 emergency support, which is not 000. No, I thought it was 000, but it actually wasn't. And then you can read about your policy, and you can also have some health assistance. So there's some articles about how to be healthy and all that stuff. So that's what the apps do. And they can buy more policy as well. So if you have member, they want to upgrade from single to a couple to a family, they can use the app to get the quote from the app and then purchase a new policy. And if you are the one that purchased the original policy, then you will still get the commission for it. So that is the OS app, and there's a portal as well, so they can log in via the portal from our website. They can log in from there. It's just taking a while. Okay, so they just need to register here and they can log in from the portal. Now for OV, we recently just updated our OV portal, which is pretty exciting. And they literally just need to go into the OV portal, put in their policy number, their password, and then they can go on to edit the contact details and edit the payment details. They can also submit claim as well. So that's the app. Is there anything that you would like me to cover?
Yeah, if there's any other specific questions, please do let us know. Berenger asks, in case of visa refusal, how long does it take to get the refund?
Yeah, so if it's a refund to an offshore account, it does take a while. It takes about 15 business days to 20 business day. Reason being is once you raise the refund, it's actually going through our third party Western Union, which does take a while. But if it's refunded back to an onshore bank account, then it will take about 5 to 7 business days.
Yep.
Okay, can you kindly share your 2 cents? Why choose Allianz? Okay. Oh, because you got me.
Good question. Thank you, Hasey.
Why? Oh, that's another thing I forgot to tell you. Okay, so we got this fantastic partner called Doctor on Demand. Remember, I was telling you it's really hard to get bulk bill doctor now, because of the inflations and all that stuff. So we have this partner called Doctor on Demand. It is our business partner, which it allows your students or our students FaceTime GP anytime, anywhere. So it's really beneficial for those students that studying in regional area, and they can call it 24/7. So there's no after hours and there's no gap fee. So all they need to do is they need to register their policy number through the app. They can book the appointment now, book the appointment in the next few days. They can choose the language the doctor will speak. Obviously, right now, most popular is English, Chinese, and Indian. But other language, like you still have Spanish doctor there. You've got I think Vietnamese doctor there as well. So that's a really, really not good selling point, because I don't think Medibank have that. And we've got that. And we also have a very large direct billing doctor network. So if you search, another thing that you can use our website is to search find a doctor. So if you go find a doctor, and it will come up a little map, and what you need to do is you just need to put in your policy type. Most of them stay in the central area, and then we'll pinpoint all the doctors that we work with. So and it depends on the duration. Sometimes we're cheaper than Medibank as well. So it just, we're providing a lot wider doctor networks. We're providing the Doctor on Demand, which is no gap GP consultation. And you got very comprehensive service from moi and also from Yes Education Group. So that is why. Oh, no problem. Any other questions?
Just gonna leave the links in the group chat, in the chat box. So for both OVHC and OSHC with our group ID. So all you have to do is use these links, and you'll be directed to the landing page where Angel just showed before.
Yeah.
Then feel free to ask us anytime if you need the links. Our admin team have them.
Cool. All right.
All right. Any more questions? Because I think we've gone a little bit over time.
Over time, yeah.
But yeah, we're more than happy to answer any more questions that you may have.
No.
It's really important that everyone knows about how easy and how great Allianz is for international students. All right, we might leave it there, Angel. And if you have any final words, and thank you again for your time today.
No problem. Thank you, Bo. So yeah, as I said at the very, very beginning, if I can just I guess support you to change the narrative when you talk to your students. They need OSHC. It's not just because it's visa compliant. They need it because they can have access to the quality medical treatment and facility and services in Australia. So then they are able to focus on the studying and focus on what they're here for. So if we start from there, then I think the whole sales conversation will be a lot easier. So yeah, thank you so much for everybody for your time and your participation. It's amazing. I'm sorry I gone over a little bit of time. But if you do think of any more questions, feel free to pass it through. I'm more than happy to help.
No problem. Thanks again, Angel. Thanks for all your support as always.
No problem. Have a great afternoon, guys.
You too. You too.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for attending, and see you at the next webinar.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.